Hey guys, we're part two. Anyway, do you like that editing? That was accident, I admit it. But she was talking about how, is desire the thing that rules in relationships? Is that what it's all about? And she does speak about several of the subjects regarding the thing going on with men and women. And it, it really does feel as though she's so very much baiting me. It's like, come on, you know you want to talk to me about this. You know you want to debate this. You know you want to explain this. You know you want to make observations. And you know what? I'm going to use this as inspiration. So if Hannah's listening, I'm going to say, Hannah, you're inspiring me to come forward with some opinions and some truths so that you can and I might once we get these other channels established, I might even put an at Hannah or Pearl thing at you. Who knows? It'll be fun. But the question was basically they showed it's such a it's so stupid. It's so stupid for anyone who's got brains, and she knows it. And she's standing there going, I'm not saying which one's better, got to stay in the middle, right? I'm not that kind of guy. I'm the kind to come right out on national television and say, I don't really believe in psychology. And it's probably really incumbent upon you as a responsible adult to let everyone know it's really a false religion all unto itself with false priests and something like that. um, it's the Tom Tom Club. Yay! So, yeah, it is silly because she did show a woman who, like, had put out a testimony, a TikTok or something, um, who was talking about how, whenever her husband and she got together, that it was just probably, gangbusters. It was like, yay, romance, love, sex, and all that stuff, carnal knowledge, blah, 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 blah. But and I don't recall it all, and I only caught a part of it. But basically, she was testifying to the fact that that part of their relationship cooled off at some point, and they're not, desiring each other like they used to, which is natural. Okay, now if you'll examine this and pretend like there's no such thing as, um, the little blue pill, whatever the hell it's called, Viagra, or whatever, whatever version of that. If there was no version of that, how many men at a certain age would get to the point where they're like, he doesn't seem to be that interested anymore there, Martha. And which all of this goes back to why the things were the way they were. Everything has a time limit, a clock on it, and everything else. And so that's why everything in tradition was okay. You bring them up to the point where they can understand how to basically survive and get around in the town and do basic math and all that, and get married so they can have their little romance as teenagers, find out, and hold off, don't do it. And it makes it all so much more special. And then they get together and, they got God. And so they can go to God on things and they can go to God and not just, hey, God, I've got a few verses here to make you use your forces to control him or to control her to be like this. But they'd pray about themselves as much as they would their spouse. And so you get all that out of the way, as they would always say, get your children out of the way by the time you're 30, you see. And then you have all this other time to work on other projects and grow together spiritually, which will happen more and more naturally because the by that time you've gotten your business done, right, of having children and everything, and he's not so interested in sex anymore, so you can't say, oh, he's always badgering me. And you may be living in, or rather sleeping in, separate bedrooms altogether. Was it perfect? No, but then that's why you did holy matrimony, so you could get through it as a walk together. It was a spiritual team doing life together. And if they understood that, um, Now, where was I going now? Up is where I was going. That's right. Where am I going? Up. We're going to continue on with this upgrade, guys. Those of you who've been loving me and are really for us, just love you so much, and I'm going to, and I do pray that heaven does see to you and love you, which will take care of some issues or whatever. Um, and I got like 1 day of indulgence left here, and then I'm going to start a fast from one of my habits that I allowed to return because I don't need to indulge that any further. Um, the mood is high, the energy's coming up, our strength is returning. So, yeah, why not get on to the steps, the baby steps, which will go very quickly, I know. And I just want to thank you again for your patience and your love and for everything you've been doing for us. Give me another 5 days, 10 days max, and we're going to see lots of progress. We're going to see lots of, so long as, of course, we're not overwhelmed by the forces of evil, which we won't be. This whatever this upgrade is that is occurring is going to be extremely helpful in causing the detachment that we actually need, taking us out of the ability of those certain kinds to reach to. I mean, it's just simple as that. If you're one of the lights, if you're one of those, there's a reason why you're supposed to be sitting on high. It's so that you're not constantly having to fight with a bunch of people who don't understand that eventually, if they go through the right moves and do the right things, eventually you could have a light too, you know, and you could be up there too, and you could be thinking, "Oh, it's so great up there," and you might think that, but it's going to be different. For again, if you actually do walk the path, you do go that route. An awful lot of the things that you think are so very important will just simply fall away. You won't miss them. You won't want them. You won't care. What do I care about? Well, that goes back to that love video that we're going to do. But does the devil reward good behavior? No. And she's saying now that she thinks that the devil lives in women and God lives in men. And there is a certain level of accuracy to it. She knows that. And she purposefully is not taking it to just being a spiritual place because she's not a preacher. And because also, this little, it's working for her, so it's working for her. Is she going to be more of a support in the future to the religious people? Oh, if the world continues on and she gets married and gets to have her 5 kids or whatever that she wants to have, then maybe, yeah. But what I see there is a good Catholic girl. And all I can say again is, before you go get preggers, you think real hard and long about that, because an awful lot of times, and I'll tell you, and when it's a good thing, it is a good thing to be a parent, no matter what. It's a good experience. It's good. It's good for you, and especially if you're a thoughtful, conscientious type person. Someone who has Jiminy Cricket or some similar conscience working in them. It's a good thing. It's a good experience. But also remember that what you're basically saying is this. Quote, I just have too much free time on my hands, unquote. Or, quote, I think I really just would benefit so much more with a great deal more responsibility, unquote. Or, quote, life's just too darned easy and I need a lot more complications and challenges. I need it to be a lot more challenging, unquote. So, and because that's really how what it is. And if you don't have a good prayer life and a good relationship with the Lord, it'll be challenging, and you won't be as pleased as you possibly could have been because you wouldn't have been praying for your children. What was else on the headline? Yeah, we'll have to get together sometime there, Hannah girl. I saw Phil Collins is out on the scene a lot more recently, it seems like. He was I saw there was a video for Follow You, Follow Me, and of course the Land of Confusion. And you know, he's done an awful lot of good songs. I sing along with an awful lot of them. But then, you know, there's always that one song that I go back to and I think, because it was in the air tonight. But I don't, it's not, it's a great song, it's a great sound. Um, I've sung along with it many times. Uh, and it's the same thing with everyone that, you know, it seems to become involved. It starts out with a certain degree of perhaps animosity or as though they're being challenged. Okay, like there's a contest afoot or something to that effect. And sometimes they, you know, they choose to throw away the sun in favor of a gun. And sometimes that has to happen, you know. And then later on, then you go, well, you know what? I'm ready for love. Ooh, baby, I'm ready for love. At least that's the way the song goes. I'm not saying it. For some reason, it made me think of Eat the Rich, an Aerosmith thing. It was in one of their albums. I'm thinking, that was bad advice. That was not good advice to the poor, to eat the rich. Just really wasn't. It's really caused a lot of problems, the way I see it. And a lot of it, what I'm looking at, with the show that I've been given, I look at it and I'm thinking, well, gee whiz, you know, it'd probably be cheaper just to scrap it. And I mean literally scrap it and get what we can out of it, see what's salvageable, you know, and then reduce the rest of it to its base elements so we can make something out of nothing. Okay, all right. While I was out, I saw interesting people, maybe an action hero. And I'll tell you, the other day when we were riding down the road, the one thing that made me smile was the guy on the motorcycle, the crotch rocket, the little super bike. Because he was riding along behind us, and he was waving to people beside him, waving to people behind him, and he even waved to me in front of him. And I was thinking, well, now, who's a little ball of sunshine today? And what caught my attention was I looked back and I saw him weaving. Have you ever, if you know anything about motorcycle, you probably did it on a bicycle as a kid. But it's when you weave, you go back and forth and back and forth. It's so you're doing that sort of a serpentine, you could say. And it sets up a little rhythm as you're riding, you know, and it's sort of a fun little ride. But he was warming up those tires, you know how they wrap all the way around. And but that was fun to see him having a good time and see someone in a good mood for a change. And that's it for part 2. We'll be back later with probably something about love. But again, yeah, this is all just practice while we're still gearing. And like I said, we saw some nice people out there. A couple of them seem to be. I picked up. Well, I'll put it to you like this. Those of the other side, I can pick them out pretty good. Don't matter if they're standing there in front of me, smiling and laughing, acting like they're my friend. You know. But then they're the ones that are for me. Those are the ones I think. Well, I mean, there's a couple of them that, boom, there they are on the radar. It's like, I wonder if that's them. It looks different, but I wonder if that's them. And but there were others that seemed like they were for rather than against. And I hope that I can get myself into a spot where maybe we can say hi or something. If nothing else, this other thing will take off. Like I say, just be patient with me for a little bit longer. just understand, okay? And we'll get there. This year for sure, absolutely. It's like in the next. See, I can't see anything, but real advancement probably in the next 2 to 4 weeks, well, 2 weeks, we'll see lots of advancement. And within 4 weeks, things should be arranged to that point where I'm happy and comfortable with going to those other places. Because, I wanted to leave that used car in running condition for them, and a couple other things I wanted to make sure was fixed and they were taken care of. Because, you know, that's what people do. And so hopefully everything will work out real good. And we'll talk to you real soon. God love you. God keep you.